Get a £5 free bet every week with Offer Club from William Hill. Simply stake a total of £20 or more across the week on pre-match football accumulators with 4 or more selections, and you'll get a £5 free bet on the Friday. Join William Hill Offer Club on mobile or online now.
KUGAN CASSIUS IFL team in association with Macklin's in Marbella with the press conference here for Haye-Bellew. With me I've got Adam Smith.
The table's still alright.
It's still alright.
Just about. Although Mike's taking everything down now, but it's after the Lord Mayor's show. It's happened, KUGAN. It's finished. It's done. We have to wait till after Christmas now.
First of all...
Don't go anywhere, Johnny. Don't.
You tell him, keep him in check. First of all, David A kind of opened that press conference with this attack on Eddie Hearn and Matchroom.
I know.
What did you make of all that?
Premeditated, wasn't it? It was thought up. And David's a bright guy. He's an intelligent guy. Look, I like both of these guys. I said that at the press conference. I like Tony. I like David. We've been around a long time. You know, David I've known since he was a kid, since he was a teenager. You know, Ed Robinson's known him for many, many years, since he was a really, really good amateur. Same with Tony, you know, since they were young guys. And, you know, we've really enjoyed having them around, in the ring, out of the ring. They both do punditry work for us. You know, they're intelligent guys. And David had worked that out. He thought about that. No one had really had a go at Eddie ever as much as that before. And look, it was funny, wasn't it? You know, Eddie loves the camera. He loves being in front of you. He loves being in front of our cameras. He loves the social media. He loves the interaction. He loves the engagement with the fans, and also he loves the fighters. He's got a passion for his fighters, and he gets, you know, you've seen him in the ring when Darren Barker won the world title, when Carl Froch beat Lucian Bhutto, when Kell Brook beat Sean Porter. You can see what it means to him. You know, he's 24/7 in this sport, Eddie Hearn, and he's passionate, and he loves a camera, and he loves to get in the way. He's right, David's right, and it was quite fun seeing Eddie get rattled a little bit.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you have to dissect that press conference by watching it again. There was so much said, a lot of over talking, and but I
didn't feel I needed to interrupt at any time. I just, you know, and it was great watching the two of them go at each other. I think there's a couple of points to be made here. We've got to remember they're both professional athletes and sportsmen. I think a couple of times, you know, we've got to watch the language, obviously, when they speak. You know, we weren't going out live on Sky Sports News, but, you know, when we do in the future, we've got to watch that. We've got to watch as well, David was going on about hospital beds and other things, and we've had some really, really, really difficult incidents in boxing in the last few weeks, you know, with the likes of Mike Towell and Edward Goodneck and obviously Nick Blackwell over the last weekend. You know, it's been really difficult, and I think that, you know, we just have to be careful where you draw the line. When you get them head to head, obviously there's high emotions, you know, rubbing each other's faces up. There was going to be something that happened. Fortunately, nothing too much happened. They go their separate ways now. They can calm down, get into training camp, hopefully enjoy their Christmases, and we can come back in the new year again. So I think it's important to make sure there is a line, but obviously lots of bows and arrows, please, lots of fire, lots of needle. The fans love that. You know, they don't like each other. It's great to see, and we all want to see what happens on March the 4th, but we don't want it to descend into a circus.
One thing I've always wondered, when like you're doing something live on Sky and someone swears, especially like the nights of fights and things.
We apologise.
You apologise for the language, but
yes, always.
You apologise, but ultimately we're watching two people trying to take their heads off.
I know. It's well, listen, we have to abide by Ofcom regulations. And you know, some of those fights are repeated during the daytime, so you know it's important for us to make sure that we're aware when something like that happens. We have to act. We're only meeting the guidelines.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Some people are saying that this fight's a mismatch with Tony going up to heavyweight for the first time, and I think David's kind of implying that. You know,
he thinks it is as well.
He thinks it is as well. So, your thoughts on that?
Do I?
Are you I don't know. What do you think?
Listen, I think it's a great fight. It's a great event, and it's a tantalising one for March the 4th for a number of reasons. Okay, of course you're going to get a huge amount of hype beforehand because they are the two biggest personalities in British boxing. They're also two of the biggest punchers. You know, Anthony Joshua, I'm sure, would argue, but maybe Tyson Fury and other heavyweights, but they're certainly two of the biggest punchers in world boxing, Tony Bellew and David Haye. Yes, David Haye is the natural heavyweight. Yes, former cruiserweight, former world heavyweight champion, starts a huge favourite on paper. I can obviously see that. Tony Bellew can hit though, and he's been active, and he's been fresh, and he's slightly mad. and you just don't know what you're going to get with Tony Bellew in the ring. You can get a real bore draw like he had with Isaac Chilemba. You can get thunder and fireworks like we had with Makabu, with BJ Flores the other week. You don't know what you're going to get with Tony, and he will fight with his heart on his sleeve. I also think the move up from Tony to heavyweight I think it might help him because he's got natural power. We know that. He was heavyweight as an amateur. He was dragged down at light heavyweight. I think he was more vulnerable at light heavy. Saying that, I think David was more vulnerable as well at light heavy cruiserweight as an amateur and a young professional. I think both of them at heavyweight, their chins will be better, but I think ultimately David Haye can knock anybody out at heavyweight. He didn't get near Vladimir Klitschko to do it, so could he knock Tony Bellew out? Of course he can. Can Tony Bellew knock David Haye out? Maybe. He might well be able to. Possibly because of the inactivity, possibly because he's not quite as sharp as he once was. And if it goes 3, 4, 5 rounds, you've got to fancy Tony for being the more active fighter. But yeah, I mean, blink and you miss it. First 2 or 3 rounds are going to be so dangerous for the pair of them. So yeah, you've got to say David is a favourite, but don't write off Tony Bellew.
And the best news is we've still got Chisora and White to come.
Chisora White, Joshua Molina, a huge night in Manchester. Also the likes of Callum Smith on the card, Kaliafai, one of my real tips to become a world champion from a long time ago. And I've said to Eddie for ages, get him a world title fight. I think that kid is special. Callum Smith, great. Scott Quigg, let's see the return of Scott Quigg. Really looking forward to that. You know, you've got the Buglioni-Burton fight. You've got Katie Taylor, who was unbelievably impressive at Wembley. Again, listen, they can have a go at Eddie, the ego, the getting in front of cameras, but I tell you what, he gets a story, he gets narratives, doesn't he? What a great idea to sign up Katie Taylor as she turned professional at Wembley. I thought she was tremendous. I thought she was absolutely fantastic every minute she was in that ring. And I think she's as good outside, a wonderful ambassador, so I'm really looking forward to seeing her journey. It's a terrific night. Chisora White, of course, we're going to have fireworks.
Ortiz Allen.
Hopefully not too many. Ortiz Allen, another one. Chisora White, not too many fireworks outside of the ring now. I think that's done. I think now we want to see them get in the ring.
No, don't say that. We want more of this stuff.
Listen, I know you do, KUGAN, but you know you've got it, and we've got plenty of it, you know, out there. But I think that we also have to remember this is a boxing match that's got to happen, and we want to see the two guys get in the ring. But Chisora White's going to be a fascinating fight, isn't it?
On a level of 1 to 10, how edited will the gloves are off be that we see?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a really good question. What do you think?
From judging by what I've heard and seen as well, I'd say I'd be surprised if you put more than 50% of it up.
We have to wait and see. We are putting what we believe is. Listen, some of it's got out there already. We're putting what we believe is the right way of dealing with it. I think that there was a lot of interviews after the event as well. So you have to stay tuned and wait for the gloves are off. Chisora White.
When does it out?
Tuesday, is it? Monday, Tuesday? Can't remember off the top of my head.
We'll come back to you on that one.
It will. Maybe at the weekend. Let me ask. Johnny, when's gloves are off going out? When's the Chisora White one going out?
Fight week. Monday, Tuesday.
James Tyner, when's gloves are off Chisora White going out?
Tuesday, 9 o'clock.
There you go. Tuesday.
See, my team are far better and more informed than I am. Tuesday night, 9 o'clock. You'll enjoy it, KUGAN. And then we maybe don't have to get them back together again, head to head at the press conference.
Yeah, we do.
Keep them to one side.
Adam, we do. Don't.
Is this a sport?
It's a tradition.
Is this a circus?
No, it's a tradition.
Is it the fine lines?
No, the head-to-head is a tradition. Press conferences and ways.
Take it up with Robert.
I will. I'll take it up with Robert Smith, no problem. All right, well, listen, Adam, thanks for talking to us.
We love the hype, we love the build-up, but we also love to see the fights actually happen.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Okay. Adam Smith, thanks for talking to IFL TV.
Pleasure, KUGAN, as always.
We'll catch up with you soon.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
Good man.